Ahmad Wali Massoud. He is the chairman of the Massoud Foundation in Afghanistan and the younger brother of the late Afghan resistance fighter Ahmad Shah Massoud. Thank you for joining us here on the program. There is a great deal of momentum building up around the US-Taliban talks right now. A statement is imminent, we're told, where both sides will commit to a 7-day reduction of violence as a precursor to a peace deal. So what is a reduction of violence versus a ceasefire? And is this a step in the right direction as far as you're concerned, or is it not enough?
Well, at the moment, at least for the past 1 year, we are experiencing and living in a very uncertain situation. The people of Afghanistan do not know, as you know, that we were caught between election and the peace. At the end of the day, it was the election. Now, after a while, this is the peace's priority. So therefore, once it's been announced that now the United States of America would say that peace should be the priority. Now, we don't know really about the content of that peace. As far as we know, it's a deal between the United States and the Taliban. How would that affect the peace in Afghanistan? Whether that will affect the peace in Afghanistan, we don't know, because we are not in the picture. We do not know about the content of that one. The only thing we know is that Dr. Khalilzad, who is the envoy of the United States for peace, he's doing shuttle diplomacy in the region, and from time to time, seldom he comes inside Afghanistan and meets some close politician who is close to him. So therefore, we are not in the picture. What is the deal? Is that the deal between the United States and Taliban? Whether that will affect the peace, and which way that will affect the peace? So therefore, we don't know. For example, you said the reduction of the violence. I mean, what exactly is the definition of the reduction of violence? Does it mean that they are allowed to go for violence to a certain extent, and then they are not allowed? Or the other requirement, for example, what about the ceasefire? What about the right of the woman, right of the other minorities in Afghanistan? Right. What about democracy? What about intikhab? What about so many other values are not known? So therefore, we are not in the picture. Me, for example, as the head of the Massoud Foundation, as my brother, the late Massoud, was the leader of the resistance against the Taliban, against the terrorism. We are not in the picture. So therefore, we don't know. We cannot kind of justify beforehand. Unless the contents come out, then we can talk about it.
Okay. So assuming the 7-day period does go by with no violations from either side, a peace deal is expected to be signed by the U.S. and Taliban, and then intra-Afghan talks are meant to take place. To what extent are you confident that the differences between the disputing parties and within the opposition can be mended? Is a consensus possible?
Sorry, can you just speak up louder, because I cannot hear properly?
Okay, yeah, assuming that the 7-day period does go by without any violations from either side, we are expecting a peace deal to be signed between the U.S. and Taliban. Do you think it's possible for there to be a consensus reached?
Well, let's see, as I said, that we don't know really kind of how far they can go. What is their announcement? What's the content? We don't know about much, because we are not in the picture. We are not in the picture. Probably some in Afghanistan, some politician, maybe in the picture, but I doubt it if they are in the picture as well. So therefore, it's very uncertain. We really don't know. Of course, everybody in Afghanistan wants to see peace, but we really cannot justify before it comes out, and then we'll see what exactly is the content of that proposal.
Okay. Your brother, the late commander Ahmad Shah Massoud, led the resistance against the Taliban and was killed by al-Qaeda in 2001, 2 days before the 9/11 attacks. How do you feel about the imminent return of the Taliban to the Afghan political scene?
Well, I don't think if it will be repeated, because that's not the same as 20 years ago. Let's say when Massoud was alive, he was there with the resistance forces, with some other leaders who put up resistance against terrorism alone, without the help of international community. He was the first one to ring the bell of the threat of terrorism. But now 20 years gone. Now today in Afghanistan, there are many other people. They are against terrorism. They are part of the resistance against the terrorism and against their values. Of course, there are many people in Afghanistan who are against the values of the Taliban. So therefore, their return is not imminent that way that they came, let's say, 20 years ago. I think that the time has passed. Now people of Afghanistan have got awareness. So therefore, it's better for everybody to concentrate on real peace, not to kind of seek a sort of revenge or sort of other repercussion.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Ahmad Wali Massoud joining us from London. Thank you so much for your time today.